I recently learned it was possible to do this on the BeamNG Touge, and somehow it's actually faster than taking the corner normally. So that got me thinking just how many more illegal Touge techniques are out there. Sure, we already know about those from that weird Japanish cartoon, but what if we take it to the next level and try pulling off some truly unbelievable moves? But here's the twist. I'm going up against BeamNG's driving god, who wanted to be known simply as Mr. X. They'll be driving the same roads, except without the same level of brain rot as I. He'll be driving normally. If I want any of these illegal techniques to work, I'm really going to have to bring my A game, or B game, because it's BeamNG. The first technique I found was here on Nanamagari. You pass the first double hairpin, and to the left there's this suspicious void of trees, almost like it was put there on purpose for someone to be able to cut it. Now, don't get me wrong, it is bumpy and hard not to faceplant into some cold hard steel. But there may be something here, and because this is the 7th corner of the road, I'm naming this one the 7 cut. So we're in the Pessima for this one. Why did I pick it? Well, it's a front-biased all-wheel drive car, which should be ideal for pulling us through the cut. Gotta tuck myself in nice and early, so I have plenty of time to react. Well, that went about as well as I expected, and I think Kevin may be dead, although I'm not positive. So, the first attempt didn't go too well. I entered the 7 cut way too early, which threw my line all out of whack. And I basically just beamed a bit of guardrail that literally nobody has ever hit before, which was embarrassing. Meanwhile, Mr. X was already uploading perfectly legal runs through the corner complex, and the pressure was on. Let's see if we can do a little better this time around. Enter the cut slower and later, so hopefully we can avoid face planting the guardrails. Let's go. Oh no. Oh, the car's just bouncing, man. What the hell's going on? You see, I spec'd out this car with stiff coilovers and a low ride height to really test the worst case scenario. And to my shock, that is exactly what I got. The car bounced and lifted wheels into the air, making controlling the damn thing incredibly difficult. All while Mr. X would actually have an advantage on the stiff suspension while driving on the totally flat road. Of course, I had the advantage of the cut, but the disadvantage of it being far more dangerous. So at this point, I knew it would probably be safer to sacrifice some speed and take the 7 cut slower, so I could actually do it reliably and lock in some times at least. Okay, so I think I've sussed out the technique. It's about the finesse. So let's try not to steam through it like a bull in a china shop, and select a line that doesn't end in death. For crash test Kevin, for Christ's sake. Sure, it was slow, and yes, I did hit another guardrail, but I made it almost all the way through the 7 cut, and I could start to see the potential. Now it was just about refining the technique into a flawless gem. I tried continuously, each time going a tiny bit faster. I knew it'd be tough to beat the normal line since you barely have to brake on it, so I needed to squeeze out every single drop of speed I could. And finally, after a few more horrific fails, I got an attempt that I was sort of proud of. Alright, I think I'm gonna LARP as a 90-year-old grandma. We're not in a rush here. Slow is steady and steady is safe. That's my new motto. With that, we should be able to take whatever line we damn well please. Avoid the guardrails like they're the big cough of 2020, and that might have been the one, you know. Inner wheel lift to send it off, and of course it popped the tyre. What a surprise. Anyway, let's see if it's actually faster. So it looks like we're actually got a better drive out of the first corner, which might not be fair, but I'll take whatever I can get, to be honest. And we can see the competition taking a great line, but will the cut be enough to beat him? Oh, and we've come out way ahead actually, with a much better drive onto the straight, which is good. And to my absolute shock, it ended up being almost an entire second faster. And obviously, it would be very useful to make a pass against an opponent who can defend well. So in that case, the 7 cut is a certified TSRB Touge technique.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. X. Just calling to let you know I was just under a second faster. How do you feel?
Fuck you.
Lovely. Although the next technique definitely embodies the spirit of the initial D cartoon, it might also be the least realistic. This Saddaminian straight is about as bumpy as it gets, throwing your car into the air as you try to slam on the brakes for a square corner. Slowing down enough here is tough, and all this increases the braking distances threefold, which is just no good. But what if there was a way to take the corner without braking so much, while practically ignoring the bumps? This is a technique I call the Forza Line, and if you know how I feel about Forza players, you can probably see where I'm going with this. For the last technique, we wanted to avoid guardrails, but I want to hit this one and ride it all the way round. Oh god, I don't think this one's going to work. At first, I took far too much damage for this to be viable, writing off the car as the structure of the chassis got destroyed, and I was starting to doubt whether the technique would be possible at all, let alone faster. This car is getting absolutely munted. But then I remembered something. I had seen this technique before.
Oh my god.
Last year, during a NASCAR race, Ross Chastain pulled off an almost identical move. But if we take a look at Ross's technique, he rides the wall on the straight, so when it comes to the corner, the impact is far less significant as he eases into the turn, ultimately meaning he takes a lot less damage and carries more speed. This is the key I was missing to the Forza Line, and what I'd need to master if I wanted any chance of beating this X. Okay, it's time to channel my inner American. Let's shake and bake, baby. Now, that was better, and it worked. Using the curvature of the guardrail, I was able to lock in, take next to no damage, and slingshot myself around the corner. The Forza Line might be goated, you know. That was epic. And while it's quite hard to see with the treetop canopies, the Forza Line was over half a second quicker, which I almost can't believe, making it 2-0 to the knobhead with the illegal techniques. I bet that guy is raging right now. The third technique is one I've developed here on Tsukuba Fruit Slide. This Touge has a bunch of massive but slow hairpins. But what if there was a technique to get around them faster? Welcome to the curb lock. By locking our inside wheels to the inner curb, we should be able to go round them like we're on rails, whichever speed we like. So let's give it a shot. Choo choo. So to start, getting locked into the gutter was hard enough, but also trying to drift into it made it almost impossible. Shit, we've killed another Kevin. I was originally trying to emulate the real initial D gutter drop as you slide into it, but I saw Mr. X's first run on this corner, and I had an idea. He was sticking to grip around the entire hairpin and going for more of a late apex. He was doing this because there just wasn't enough grip hugging the inside, and he would end up understeering. But, in theory, if we lock ourselves onto the curb, we remove any chance of understeer. So I wanted to try this technique while gripping and taking the shortest possible distance around the turn. Alright, it's time to lock in, literally and figuratively. There we go. Oh, no. Well, at least you can see how much it helps the car rotate. Attempt 2. Let's take the lesson from the 7 cut and try going a bit slower. We were doing it, but now we're not. Alright, this is the one. I can feel it. Gonna get locked in nice and early and feel how much speed we can take through it, and oh, that felt quick and it looked cool. My luck had vastly improved while trying the curb lock within the limits of grip. However, as a sim racing veteran, entering on the inside of the turn goes against all my instincts, and I did find it quite hard, against my nature almost. How do we hit that post every single time? Seriously. And after a few more attempts and a few violent crashes, I managed a run I believed would be faster than Mr. X's. Right, this is the one. I can feel it. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're in. Steady does it. All the way around. Pop out, don't crash. Oh, and we're away. That might have been it. That did feel quick. Oh. No damage either. Let's see if we were faster than Mr. X though. Faster corner entry, faster mid corner, but it's all about the exit. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, we've smoked him. That might be the most successful technique so far, and it was truly illegal and cursed. Brilliant. Here at Touge, I want to use this dirty little ditch to slingshot myself around the corner. The essence of this one is practically driving around it like it's a banked corner, which not only helps the car turn, but also at greater speeds. If you try doing that on a flat road, it wouldn't end so well. In theory, I won't need to brake much, if at all, and I'll exit the corner without losing much speed. In theory. Attempt numero uno of the ditch drop, and I have a good feeling about this one. Get tucked in The first attempt resulted in a violent crash. Maybe that was a bit too much throttle. But with every attempt, I was getting closer to something resembling a faster way of cornering. Damn, those new K&M filters are so good, they can filter solid metal. Brilliant. That was a great joke. Thank you. Of course, Mr. X had uploaded a plethora of runs past this corner using totally uncursed methods, and that was about as scary as expected. But no matter what I did, I couldn't seem to do the ditch drop without ramping the car into the closest wall or guardrail. I am so sorry, Kevin. Oh, that was so close to being it. After several tries and being wheeled on by Mr. X's lightning fast runs, is he taking the piss? I finally managed a clean one. I'm starting to feel like the moral of this video is when you're doing these illegal techniques, slow is fast, and there we go, that is proof of it. We finally got it. So because I didn't have to go around the corner, we entered faster, and not only was I quicker out of it, but I also got a better line for the next turn. So I guess the ditch drop is the final certified Touge technique. Thanks for watching.